I am really excited that I get to talk to you guys about this. The Fuji X100V. Here it is. I have a long history with the X100 series cameras. The original X100 I bought back in 2011, I think, when it was first released. And then the X100S, the X100T, the X100F, I've owned all of those. And now the X100V, I have an early access look at it, and I get to tell you guys about it as soon as it's really announced. And this is really cool for me. I'm excited about this. Right off the bat, big shout out to Midwest Photo for making this happen. Ken sent me a message a few days ago and just said, hey, we've got a really short window, but if you can make it work, we can send you an X100V to shoot with for 2 days and then send it back. And I jumped at the chance to do that. So big thanks to Ken at Midwest Photo for making this happen. I am super thankful. But only shooting with it for 2 days, I can confidently say that this is probably the most substantial upgrade from, a new version of the X100 coming out. The jump from the F to the V, they've made some pretty big changes here. It's still an X100 at heart, obviously, but they've made some pretty big changes that I think really kind of set this one on another level. For starters, we can talk about the body itself. There have been a few changes. Number one, the top plate here, it's this flat, kind of sharp edge profile. It doesn't have this kind of like beveled edge or anything. It's nice and flat all the way across, and it just looks really good. I love the design of that. The back has also been further simplified. They removed the D-pad, so everything is using just the joystick here with your thumb, which I think works great. I really like using this on Fuji cameras, so I do like this change up here, as well as this flat LCD that is actually articulating now. So you do have a folding touchscreen on the X100 series cameras for the first time, and it folds out perfectly like a waist-level viewfinder, which for this kind of shooting, I think it works really well. But it's this really flat and thin LCD panel that it doesn't add any kind of bulk by making it, an articulating screen. It still has this really nice thin profile, which is great for a camera like this. The diopter on the side as well is really easy to adjust, but it's also not going to be accidentally adjusted. So it has this round eyepiece versus the kind of rectangle shaped one that was on the previous cameras. I like this style a lot more. It just feels like a little bit more comfortable to use. And again, the diopter is a nice upgrade as well. Another change is on the ISO dial. So it's on the shutter speed dial, and you basically lift up and rotate. But with this one, you lift it up and it stays up. You don't have to lift and hold it up while you're twisting. You can just lift it up, and now it's free to turn, and whenever you have it set, you just push it back down to lock it in place. This makes it so much more usable. I like this a lot better. Basically, for me, whenever I would be making any kind of changes, I would lift it up and then just rotate it like I would be basically spinning the shutter speed dial. I didn't really have to do this whole like holding it up while I'm spinning it. That seems like something that isn't a big deal. I never thought that I would want this changed. Now, after using it, I'm like, that's perfect. It's just so much more comfortable to use. I would just lift it up and watch the LCD screen and basically set it to whatever I wanted rather than looking at this tiny little window. So that's a bit random upgrade or change, basically, but I really like that. I have the press release here. They also mention that there is a new algorithm for the autofocus. So it says that the autofocus is effective even at -5 EV. So in really dark situations, the autofocus is going to be working better than on the previous versions. It also has a new hybrid viewfinder where it's a 3.69 million dot OLED panel inside. I basically haven't noticed any difference because I don't have an X100F or T or S or any other previous versions to compare it side by side with, but the viewfinder was great to work with, so there you go. For the first time on an X100 series camera, you can also shoot 4K 30p with this. I haven't shot any video because I just don't really see the use for me personally using this for a video camera, but it is there if this is your only camera and you need to shoot video. You can now do 4K at 30p with their Eterna profile, which is great. It also supports 422 10-bit through HDMI and 420 8-bit in camera. But one of the biggest improvements that I am really happy about is it is now dust and weather resistant. This being just an everyday camera for me, that makes a world of difference. I often would just have my X100 just slung across my body and not actually in a camera bag, just taking it with me wherever I go. And I like knowing that if it starts raining or anything like that, I don't need to basically run for cover like I did with previous X100 cameras. Knowing that it's dust and weather resistant, that just gives me a lot more comfort in using it as a an everyday camera. The battery life has also been improved, so it was previously rated at 350 shots. Now they're saying you can get 372. I have not had to charge this battery once since I've been shooting with it, so the battery seems to be working just fine. It uses the NP126 batteries, which is what the Fuji X-T3 used. I used to be stocked up on this whenever I shot with the X-T3 and the X100F, so if you have those cameras, those batteries will work in this, but it also has USB-C built in as well, so if you want to charge it that way rather than just on the dock, you can do that too. But another really big improvement is the lens. This is still a 23mm f2 lens, but it has been improved both in the corner and center of the frame for sharpness, and it is definitely noticeable. Previously on the X100 camera, if you shot really close with that lens, you would get this really soft kind of look from it. It would lose a lot of sharpness focusing up close. That is completely gone. I am happy to say this lens is incredible. To see for yourself, I'm going to go ahead and let you guys just see a ton of photos that I've shot over the last 2 days with this camera, and everything that I shot was with the new classic neg profile. I shot everything in JPEG, which is something I've oddly never done with my Fuji cameras. Even shooting them for years, people always talk about how great the JPEGs are, but I've always just preferred to shoot RAW for the flexibility. I really wanted to put this to use and just try it out with the new classic neg profile. So everything you're seeing here is straight out of camera JPEG with that profile on. Alright, so I hope you guys enjoyed those photos. I tried to get a good mix of different lighting conditions and shooting up close and far away. I hope you got a good idea of how well this lens performs. It really is good. This is definitely the best X100 series camera that they've come out with, which should be the case considering it's the newest, but I really feel like the jump from the F to the V, this is like the most substantial upgrade that we've seen in the X100 cameras. But the X100 series cameras are really near and dear to my heart. I really consider these like these little sketchbook cameras. They're limiting enough that it kind of forces you to think creatively, being a fixed focal length camera, you know, but at the same time, it's flexible enough that you can rely on it on a daily basis. So whether you're shooting a portrait or a landscape, if you're shooting in really bright sunlight or low light, it just kind of is a great camera to always have with you and just experiment with. And that's kind of what I mean whenever I say it's like a sketchbook camera. I just find myself shooting a lot more and trying things out a lot more. You know, shooting film mostly, I'm sometimes a bit more particular about whether or not I'm actually going to make the photo, but with this, just shooting freely, it really kind of encourages me to just try different things out and be a little bit more experimental, and that's what I really love about these. And again, having that 35mm field of view and being small and compact and now weather resistant as well, it really is just like the perfect camera to just photograph life with on a daily basis, because the batteries, they're great now that you don't really have to carry a ton with you, and just always having this on you, it's always ready. And I really, really like this camera a lot. The X100 in general, but again, the X100V, this is the one to get. So Fuji, you knocked it out of the park. One of my all-time favorite cameras cameras, you made it that much better. So really, really well done job on the X100V. Again, big thanks to Midwest Photo for actually making all this happen. If you need anything for lighting, audio, video, photo, printing, darkroom, anything you need, Midwest Photo has it. They have a really good rental department, great used selection on film gear. If you want to find any information at all, there are links in the description. Really great people. I love working with them, and it's nice that they're only an hour north of me here in Chillicothe. So definitely check out Midwest Photo for anything you might need in the photo, video, or audio world. But that's it for today. I need to sadly package this back up and ship it back to Fujifilm. If you guys enjoyed this video or found it helpful at all, please let me know in the comments down below. And give the video a like and subscribe if you haven't already. We have new videos every Monday at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. But that's it for today. So thank you guys for everything. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.